right. So this is good. This is good. We got enough people here now. So yeah, it looks like most of us agree that Devin Harrison Barnes. Okay. All right. We got some things. So like I said, when they're picking their most disappointing players, and you post Keldon Johnson ahead of Devin Vassell, I wonder if they've been paying attention, or maybe it's just, as a Spurs fan, you know what the expectations are for these players, right? So for us, I don't think anybody is shocked that Keldon Johnson had a bad season, right? I truly don't think that. I don't think anyone is shocked that Keldon had a bad season. So it's not really a disappointment, right? Keldon just sometimes struggles when he's on the court with Wemby, right? When he has to be in a structure. He's much better when you don't have Wemby. Yeah, he just is. When it's more free flowing and we just like, Keldon, go get us a bucket. He can just kind of do whatever he wants offensively. And it works out for him individually. I don't think that he's selfish. I'm not getting at that. But just overall, I wouldn't call that a disappointment. I know what Keldon is. I know how he should be utilized. It's fine. It's whatever. It is what it is, right? He's a spark of energy. He was still that this season, even in a bad season. But Devin is one that we all expected to come in and light the world on fire, right? Especially after his last season, and then the addition of 2 point guards. We were like, his job is going to be so much easier now. But unfortunately, that was not the case. It's probably more so due to his injury, but it's also due to his tendencies, right? I mentioned this before, but his tendencies are, I take outside shots. And if that's not going, I just kind of disappear offensively. He's still engaged defensively, right? He's still in his spots offensively, but he just doesn't impact the game in many other ways. He will disappear on the offensive end. And to me, that's a fourth option. And the reason why he's a disappointment for me is I genuinely was expecting Devin to be like our second or third scoring option going forward. And by the end of the season, I'm like, okay, I've been able to lower my expectations. So my expectations when we first got Devin Vassell was actually quite low. I don't know. Did we have the YouTube channel? I think we did. I think we did. I had pretty low expectations. Did we? Yeah, we had to. Guys, when was Devin Vassell drafted? Let me know. And was it 2020? Okay, we had the YouTube channel if it was 2020. It was either 2020 or 2019. I think it was 2020. 2020. Okay. Yeah. We had the YouTube channel. All right, so, back in 2020, I didn't think much of Devin, to be honest with you. And my expectations started to grow after last season, because I was like, whoa, he can create his own shot. He's not a one-trick pony, right? Because before, he used to just go to one spin move every single time, no matter what the defense is giving him, and he'll attempt that mid-range shot. But he doesn't do that anymore. Like, he sees what the defense gives him, and he attacks accordingly. And I really liked that. I was like, whoa, he's way better than I thought he was. Maybe he could be a second option, right? And then after this season, due to the injury, and he's not the most healthy person in the world as far as staying in games. I lowered him a little bit. Right. So it went from, hey, he could be a second or third option. Now I'm down to fourth, because I don't want to give up on the talent. The talent is obviously there. Even his tendencies of not necessarily attacking the rim as much as he should, not taking as many shots as he should. There's still a lot of value you get out of Devin, even without that. And if you kind of adjust the way you view him and say he's a fourth option, he's a nasty fourth option, like nasty. He is the type of guy that I think that you could put him, and he could be more so night in, night out, like a fourth scoring option, right? But every now and then, this is the important part, right? This is where he comes in handy. Every now and then, like in the playoffs, he could skyrocket. He could skyrocket to even the first to second scoring option on occasion. There will be a game that he just goes off and there's nothing you can do about it, because he has that in him. He does it. I could see him doing that, and just enough of those can be good enough for you to make playoff runs, be good enough for you to be top of the league. When teams figure out your other guys. Like, okay, we got to stop Fox. We got to stop Wimby. Okay, we figured it out. We got to stop Castle. Okay, we figured out, which I still think Devin's a better shooter than Castle, obviously. But, we'll have some other talent as well. Like, whoever the guys that we get, we have to stop them. Okay, cool. All right, we stopped those 2 or 3 guys. And then Devin just goes off. And there's nothing you can do about it. Right? Like if Devin is put in a position where a team sits back and they're like, we just got to let him beat us. That's where you win. That's where he's deadly, right? Because there's certain players where they're like, look, if that player beats us, I mean, what do we do? You know what I mean? Like think about Danny Green, like 2013. You're focused in on the big 3. You're focused in on those guys, and then Danny just goes off. It's like, what? What? We can't put our best defender on him. You live or die by it. I see that as Devin. Okay, that was a lot of yapping. I say all that to say this. He is the biggest disappointment this season, right? Undoubtedly. I think putting Keldon Johnson comes from someone who not really. Maybe it was their personal opinion, but I don't think you really pay attention to Spurs fandom and our expectations. So Keldon shouldn't be on here. Devin should, but with that being said, I still like Devin a lot. But the Spurs are going to be listening to offers. We already heard about that. So there's teams that's calling them. They're going to see what's on the table. And yeah, I mean, Devin is also good enough that you would get something really good out of it. And with his contract and everything, and the new CBA, you're gonna get a lot out of it if you want to trade Devin. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. You know what I mean? How long are the Spurs going to be put up with his injury history and inconsistency? I have no argument for that. Yeah, well, has his injuries? I mean, he has some injury issues, but has it been that bad? Let's take a look. Screen went blank. Okay. Let's see. You might be exaggerating a little bit, my friend. Oop. Walt Disney. Oh, I forgot that they own everything. All right, here we go. That is a lot of missed games. You missed about 20 this season. A decent chunk of it, you had to come off the bench because of it. Last season he didn't miss that much. That's not that much, right? That's not that much. Is that like 14? Missed a lot that season. Didn't miss that many his second year. It's a little exaggerated. I guess the question is 60-ish games good enough to keep him? I don't know. But the inconsistency on the court is definitely apparent. And, I mean, even stats-wise, he did have a worse season than he did last, right? Like, jumping down 3% from the field is actually a pretty decent jump down. Let's see. Look like all other avenues is about the same. I think what makes it the most disappointing, though, is because that field goal percentage shouldn't be that low. Like, that's not like crazy horrible compared to his peers, but like it should be higher because you have point guards now. Devin makes too much money to come off the bench. But what if coming off the bench is the most? I mean, he's no Manu, but like, you know, Manu came off the bench, and at one point he was making the second most on the team. I think at one point Manu was making the second most. So that could be very valuable coming off the bench and making that amount. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a future where Sohan gets paid and he comes off the bench. Like, Devin doesn't have to start. If there's someone better, you don't have to start. And no one's really up for a payday yet. So, like, that's not even something we really have to worry about. Oh, yeah. Who knows if his health will last in the playoffs? I'm leaning on a hard no. And that's an argument, too. That's an argument, too. But Spurs have a knack for keeping you healthy, you know, as the season goes on, and then amping it up in the playoffs, and players be fine. Isn't he the highest paid player on the team and in Spurs history? Okay, so first off, yes. And honestly, rightfully so. I don't know who on our roster will be making more right now. No, I think technically Fox makes the most, right? Here, let's look at the Spurs. Yeah. So, and I don't really like to use the argument of like, you know, he's making the most any Spur has ever made ever, you know, because times have changed. Guys get paid more. He's making the second most. Guys get paid way more now. And with the new CBA, it's about to be even higher pay rates. So I like to do it more on like a percentage base, like what percentage is he taking out of the cap? And all things considered, he's worth this money. I mean, this season, he's had a down season. Don't get me wrong. This season has not been that great. But all things considered, if he got back to how he was even last season, yeah, he deserves that. There's nothing to really like panic about right now. You know? Look, what are we panicking about? You're not gonna pay Wemby until a few years. You're not gonna pay Castle until a few years. Sohan a couple years. I don't know what we're really panicking about. You know? And there's nobody I can think of like 1-to-1, like we trade Devin Vassell for this player and then we're just so much better. Like I don't really think that as far as what he's worth and what the market looks like. Most players, by the way, I brought this up before. Most players that are making about this, actually, I don't even have to. Here you go. Oh, wait, no. Here we go. Yeah, most players that are making about that 29 aren't actually doing better than Devin. Let's see. So there was a few noticeable names here. Like Julius Randle was one. Where is he? Where is Devin? DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole, right? Like they're not outperforming Devin. I mean, one of them injured, but they're not outperforming him. DeJounte was stinking it up before he left. Jordan Poole's percentages suck. And a lot of the players too that's on this list that's making around the same that Devin is, they don't have a contract where the number goes down. Most of them, the number goes up. Like you can see Jeremy Grant is going up 32, 34, 36. Jordan Poole starting off 29, 31, 34. DeJounte 29, 31, 33. Devin 29, 27, 27, 24, you know. So it's a good contract, all things considered. You got to just compare them to other people in the market, right? There's a few people that obviously their teams get more value out of them than you would with Devin, but you know, it's nuance as well. Like Porzingis, obviously, you know, they would get more value out of Porzingis right now than we would get out of Devin. But just you compare him player to player, this contract isn't that bad. Like I said, Julius Randle's making 31, and I think his stats were pretty rough. Anyways.